Yes. Sweet. I think we should be going live. So, hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How has your week been? How's I'm gonna close that so that doesn't happen again. Oh no, but I've got fan email. You'll have to deal with the email notifications maybe coming through. Hello. How's things? Hello Tom. How you doing, man? How you doing, Zav? Jamie? How you guys doing? Hello Essentialist. How's things? How's life? Representing the Twitch side? Nice. Good. Good. How's things? How has your week been? Hello Steve. How you doing? Good, man. Nice. I mean, you were at a what do you call them? Amusement park earlier. What was that, yesterday? Today? Yesterday. I don't know what day it is. Probably Thursday since I'm doing this, but how's things? Hello, Thomas. How you doing? Yesterday. I was right. Technically. Ah. This has been a very, very busy week for me. Indeed. Hello, Horizon. I'm facing a problem with Secure Boot. It's grayed out in the BIOS and forces be unable to download Windows 11. I certainly got Windows 11 installed without Secure Boot enabled. I pretty much never enable Secure Boot, although actually it might be enabled by default, so I could be wrong on that one. But what CPU and motherboard do you have? Hello, user Will. How you doing? How's things? Just move this out of the way so that I can put this up here. There we go. That's better. Oh, yeah. I've been testing a lot this week. What have I been doing? Oh, I've got a new i5. I've got the i5 11500 in that I'm testing. It's in there. So I've been testing that. And I think I should have that video completed tomorrow for publication on Wednesday, I think. So that'll be good. Actually, who have you seen the GPS video that went out on Monday? If so, what did you think? Hello, Yanisek. Hello, Budget Bench. How you guys doing? How's things? Hello, Michael. How are you doing? It's an i3 4170 and a Biostar H81 motherboard. Got ya. Yeah, I don't think that you need Secure Boot enabled. You will need TPM, and there's a very good chance that you don't have a TPM header, and you probably need to, even if you do have a TPM header, you'll need to buy a TPM module. Zav, I guess I'm a COBOL developer now because I just bought 3 IBM AS400 mini mainframes, picking them up on Monday. What possessed you to do that? Fair play. Hello, yet another user. You're on holiday. Nice. Well, thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. Hello, Simon. How you doing? Things are getting better nowadays. Can't wait for Zen 3 Plus and 4 to come out. So you think they'll use 5nm for the next Ryzen iteration? So the roadmap says that Zen 4 will be 5nm. They have not said that they were they are going to do an intermediary step with Zen 3 Plus. There have been rumors to say that, but as it stands, I'm not entirely convinced. But yeah, that the expectation is that Zen 4 it will use TSMC 5nm, which is technically it's certainly better than Intel's 10 for sure, but it's not outright, half the size or double the density or anything like that. I think it's TSMC 5nm. The estimated peak density is 71% more dense than Intel's 10nm, so technically not that far off. But yeah. Hello, Luca. How you doing, man? There were only $50 total. Ah, I see. Facebook Marketplace is a hell of a drug. It depends on CPU type 2. On some CPUs, you don't need a TPM module. It's in the BIOS. Yes, that's most of the Ryzen CPUs and B and I think even A and X. All of the motherboards support FTPM through the BIOS, so you don't need a module specifically. On a positive note, GPUs are finally getting cheaper. That's true. The crackdown in China is definitely helping with that. And the lower profitability, meaning people are not willing to mine, or at the very least they're not willing to purchase more cards at the moment, so that's good. Plus, a contributing factor is we're in the right time frame for if Nvidia placed larger orders than they had initially anticipated to keep up with this increased demand back when the launch happened. This is when those orders would start actually getting fulfilled and being sent to their add-in board partners to then actually manufacture cards. What's the chair in the background? That is a Noble Chairs icon. One that I'm sitting on is a Noble Chairs hero. I used an AS400 system when I was at college, programming in COBOL and C. Nice. That's a bit before my time, let's say. Also, Ethereum's going to change consensus model to proof of space instead of proof of work, which will also affect the demand for graphics cards because it's no longer, well, proof of work. You don't need to be doing an insane amount of computation to benefit that. The heat in summer, you mine on RTX 3070 and past 70 degrees Celsius, that's not good. That is also true. Summer will also definitely be helping that. Hello, Hayden. Your TPM hardware is not being detected in Windows 11 developer build. Interesting. Were you able to install it though? Because as far as I'm aware, the only limitation is in the installer. It's not like if you were to install Windows 11 on an SSD and then swap that SSD into a non-TPM, even non whatever their recommendations were, 8th gen, 2nd gen Ryzen, whatever system, that would, as far as I'm aware, would just work as normal. Because again, it's just Windows 10. Quick question about your video on RAM speeds. Have you tested the impact on different speeds and timings on RAM when you use an APU like a 4500U? So I haven't, mostly because I really don't have many or any of AMD's APUs. It's not something that I have tested overly much or been, I guess, too focused on. So I don't have many or any to test, so I can't really test them if that makes sense. But my understanding is that RAM speed would play a more significant role because your system RAM is also your graphics memory, or VRAM, and so having faster and lower latency system memory for an APU, my understanding is that it is a much more significant effect than you would see just from outright CPU performance, specifically because CPU performance on its own already isn't a massive factor in gaming performance especially. But when you start messing with your graphics, then more of a deal. Sunburnt my scalp. Ouch. That's gonna hurt. I burn a lot. Neck especially, but I've never had my scalp, although I do currently have quite thick hair. What about Intel CPUs when you use the onboard GPU and the CPU? Again, it's the same thing. You are still using your system memory to both as system and as graphics memory. So again, in theory, the faster system memory you have, the faster your iGPU will be able to perform within a reasonable limitation. Intel will have designed their graphics, onboard graphics, to specifically work best at their maximum in-spec frequency, and therefore there's a good chance that anything higher than in-spec, so in the 11th gen case, that's with the that's 3200 megahertz, that anything above that, one, technically voids your CPU warranty, and two is there's a chance that the memory is therefore not, like, becomes not the bottleneck at or above that frequency, and it's just the straight graphics cores, or technically lack thereof compared to a DGPU, that would be the bottleneck in that situation. It would vary game to game depending on VRAM usage and resolution and settings. I was able to install on an X570 Tomahawk with a Ryzen 9 3900. That makes sense. Took me a second. What do I think it's strange that Microsoft's saying you need an Intel 8th gen CPU or Ryzen 2000 for Windows 11, and saying you need a dual core CPU? Dual core CPU I kind of get. The arbitrary 8th gen Intel, 2nd gen Ryzen seems a bit weird, considering 2nd gen Ryzen is literally Zen Plus. Like, it's the same architecture, same feature set, it's just slightly improved. So surely 1st gen Ryzen is equally supported. And as far as I'm aware, there wasn't any significant differences between, well, really the 6th and, let's face it, 10th gen Intel. Because 11th gen Intel is at least the 10 nanometer architecture backported, but from 6th to 10th was all the same core designs, all the same features, and a lot of the same vulnerabilities. But I had to change some folders in Windows 11, dropped a folder from Windows 10 to get it around. Yes, that's pretty much it as far as I'm aware. What's your level of repairing a PCB? Do you have any tools to repair something? I have a soldering iron, but I don't have a reflow station. I don't even have a hot air gun. I've got a heat gun, but not a soldering hot air gun, essentially. PCB repair isn't normally something that I do very often. If they are not surface mount, through hole components. One of my monitors effectively caught fire while I was using it. I think it was a capacitor that let the magic smoke out. So I disassembled it, replaced the ferrite choke and the capacitor that had been very clearly scarred, burned. Replaced them. Monitor works perfectly fine. But other than that, not really. I think it'd be an interesting video if you made one in a time where GPUs are difficult to get, different timings, for example, and consider the 11th series Intel can run 5000 megahertz plus. And that's true. The fastest kit of memory I have is the 3600 megahertz kit, so I would reasonably need to get faster to really try that out. But yeah, it's something I'll put on the cards for sure. Put on the list. Essentially says I should get Keeps as a sponsor so it grows back. I assume you're talking about your hair rather than mine, because mine definitely growing fine right now. Too much. With the GPU and CPU, if they are proper abused, like running hot 90 degrees Celsius, will they fail almost instantly or reduce lifespan to like 6 months or so? Here's the thing. All gaming laptops that have come out in the last 5+ years, at least forever, however long I've been benchmarking laptops, specifically the CPU, and also quite often the GPU, will by default, by design, run at 89 to 95 degrees Celsius. That is the purpose, or the factory design of those machines. The CPU boosts as hard as it possibly can, hits its thermal ceiling, and cuts back down again to sit at 80, 90, 95 degrees Celsius, basically feathering the edge between its thermal throttling temperature, which on these 10th, 11th gen mobile chips is, I think, 90 degrees, so it will hit 90 degrees, it will hit on boost, hit to 95, cut back down, and then it will basically hunt around for the fastest clock speed it can run at or around 90 under full load, and also under gaming, because they share heat pipes, and so the GPU might be pumping out 90 watts or whatever, and the CPU's sipping back 65. It's still because they share heat pipes, however hot your graphics card is, your CPU is also at least that hot, and it's also producing its own heat. Is TPM 2.0 found in the BIOS? If you have a Ryzen CPU, then yes, you can use FTPM. Otherwise, no is the answer. And yes, 90 degrees is a stable temp. Where's my data spreadsheet? So of the 15 laptops I have on this spreadsheet of my updated test procedure, the temperature that I recorded as a maximum, I should add, goes 100 degrees, 95, 98, 98, 92, 104, 98, 92, 94, 95.6, 100.9, 95.4, 94.4, 96.4, 95. Yeah. Intel and AMD. So yes. I believe the 8th gen Zen 2 requirements is Windows 11 being designed for Intel's big. LITTLE CPU moving forward, and the architecture is only being certified with those CPUs. Yes, that is my expectation. It is. It's more from they I guess can't be bothered, don't want to certify those now old CPUs with this newer version, with their new not compiler. I suppose there will be a new compiler, but scheduler is the word I was looking for. That's the expectation. Essentialist, as far as I'm aware, it will still work just fine, but yeah, I don't know. Also, to finish answering the question, the So Steve's question about CPU and GPU temperatures running hot at like 90 degrees Celsius. The answer is no. They will run at anything up to, well, 90, 95, 100 degrees Celsius, and it's still not. They still don't, die instantly. There is a reason why they have TJ Maxx thermal junction temperatures where they either cut boost or shut off. Once you start exceeding those temperatures, yes, and in theory, the longer you run those sorts of machines at higher temperatures, the less lifespan they will have. But it's not quite as clear cut as run at X degrees for X time equals Y lifespan. Hello, Chris. How you doing, man? Have you seen the Northbridge channel with an RTX 3090 that has been bricked by the customer liquid metal in the GPU and getting it all over the card? I haven't. I do kind of believe that though, especially with the rear thermal pad issue. I could see someone who is how do I put this, at the bottom of the Dunning-Kruger graph, thinking it's a great idea to try and sort all of their thermal problems with this one trick. Zab was saying about fixing PCBs. You can do SMD rework with a soldering iron. I replaced the cap on some RAM ones. It helps if you use a lot of flux. It's just a pain. You can't really do it with some of the SMD components with more pins or different packaging. Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. I can barely solder standard wires. SMD components are no for me. Gothmatics? Nice. Light-hearted comment only. You must have been compared to Tom Hiddleston. How much of a Loki are you? I have had a strange variety of what are essentially now all Marvel actors, because there isn't really many actors who aren't Marvel actors. So the main one is probably what's his name? The newest Spider-Man boy. I've forgotten his name. Although I think since I grew the chin fluff, that stopped going away. And I haven't watched any of the Disney Plus Marvel series as of yet. I've heard that they're very good. I just haven't. Well, I don't have Disney Plus, so that's a limitation. Because I don't really want to pay what would end up being potentially hundreds of pounds a month to the varying streaming services. Just that at that point I may as well go back to satellite television, which is not something I'm going to do. So you see the problem. But yeah, that's I haven't seen any yet, unfortunately. If I miss any questions, by the way, as always, feel free to post them again. Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. I do like. I can't believe I've forgotten his name. Whatever his the new boy's name is. He's a bit more comic-y, I guess. A bit more fun, cartoony. I don't know how to describe it, but do you know what? Miles from Spider-Verse. Tom Holland, that's his name. Thank you. Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse was. Which GPU would you I assume pair with an Ryzen 5 3600X? Kind of most of them. I would probably say 3070 is not necessarily upper limit, but it's about as far as I would go, and anything under that, you like, however much you can afford, basically. Perhaps 3060 would be a nice balance. Are you excited for DDR5? Also, someone mentioned about do I have any idea of if DDR5 is coming? So there are some modules that are coming to market, but there won't be mass adoption until there is a need to, which means Intel's Alder Lake is due to support both DDR4 and DDR5, and therefore that's the once Intel truly is ready to launch that, you will see a flood of DDR5 modules in the market, and you'll be able to start adopting it. I'm excited for it. I don't think I've ever been excited for a new DDR version. It would. I think what I suppose it will technically allow will be certainly interesting from a higher bandwidth perspective, but higher bandwidth normally comes at the cost of higher latency, which isn't so great. So I think it's more just going to be a case of see what it enables on the new CPUs that will support it. Interestingly enough, the last time we went around from DDR3 to DDR4, the Xeon supported both. Supposedly Facebook had a bunch of DDR3 they still wanted to use. So, what was it? The Skylake 6th gen, if I remember rightly. The 6th gen CPUs, the memory controller on board does support both DDR3 and DDR4, and I think that there are still some Z97, I think it was. Or whatever the 990 series chipset. I believe that there was some of those that did support DDR3, and you could put a Skylake CPU like a 6700K in the in that board with DDR3, and it would work. My PC is on fire. Please help. What do I do? Well, you should use your reflexes and put it out. I'm very certain that is not a serious question. The answer is unplug it from the wall, and if you have a CO2 fire extinguisher, do that. Otherwise, you want to fire blanket it. It's pretty much just going to burn, because if you pour water on it, there's a very good chance that there will still be enough residual energy to spark, and then you risk setting more than just a PC on fire. I'm just about to make the jump from AMD to AMD from Intel after 16 years. What makes you switch? If you take the Windows 11 minimum requirements, I cannot understand why an A8 7410 isn't supported in Windows 10, as it's a quad-core SoC with CPM 2.0. Like I said, or like we were talking about earlier, the expectation is that those requirements are not necessarily requirements as much as they are, here is the hardware we validated. The official requirements page says, I think, dual-core CPU with at least 1 GHz clock speed, 4 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM or something like that, and whatever else. And TPM 2.0 for some reason. Basically higher core count for a lot of my content creation work and rendering. Nice, that's sweet. What chip are you planning on going with? If your PC's on fire, you need a new one. Very true. CO2 is a good way to put out fire and electrical fire. Yes. Or failing that, fire blanket. Checked. your surroundings. I suppose very worst case, you could wet the surrounding area so that if sparks or fire does leave your PC enclosure, it's less likely to spread to anything else. But yeah, yeah. I've already got it. I got me a 5950X. Nice. It was barely more than a 5900. That's even better, man. Nice. I'm using a 5900X myself with 64 gigs of RAM and now a 2080 Ti. I hate RGB headers more than USB 3. Do you know what? Yes, it's very flimsy. The number of RGB headers that I've broken by accident is too high. I have a 5900X, 128 gig of RAM, and it said my system will not support Windows 11. Nice. Yeah, that sounds about right. I bounce between Intel and AMD depending on the best CPU at the price at the time. That's fair enough, yeah. I still haven't watched Spider-Verse. You should stop watching the stream and go watch it. It's fantastic. I hate the front panel headers. See, I use them enough that I know where they are, where it is. They are quite fiddly though, so they're definitely not my favorite of the connectors. But they're not the worst. I'll wait until after the stream. Oh, that's very courteous of you. Thank you very much. Running the Insider Windows 11 preview on my 4th gen Intel i5 laptop, and it's mega smooth. Nice. I don't suppose you could field a question about a problem with my old AMD FX 6300 system. I can certainly try. As always with this stream, I cannot guarantee answers or satisfaction. However, I'm not one to say no. I'm having massive micro stutters on a Ryzen 7 3700X and a 6800. RAM is G-Skill Trident running at 3600. Monitor is an MAG 32, 140Hz, 1440p. Gotcha. Right, where to begin? I suppose the main things I would, before anything else, graphics drivers updated, BIOS updated, and have a look in your graphics driver settings to see if FreeSync is enabled, and if there are any other settings, any other display settings that could be interfering, things like Radeon Chill, whatever else. You need to purchase the TechteamGB support contract for guaranteed satisfaction. Yes, and one of those contracts is for the low price of £3 million a day. Because then I can hire a firm to get all the answers and still have some money left over. FX 6300 problem. The other day my Ethernet stopped working. I've tried all of the web fixes, including taking RAM and CMOS battery out, installing LAN driver and device manager. Got it. So first things first, when you plug an Ethernet cable in, does it, the port should have some LEDs on it. Does it show that the port is active and communicating? If it does, or I suppose if it doesn't, in Device Manager, does it show up, or even in network settings, does it show up as just a disconnected port, or is it just not visible at all to Windows? It lights up. That's a good sign. There's two LEDs. There's a green one and an orange one. I assume the green one is lit. Does the orange one ever blink? That's the activity light. Ah, thank you, Ish. I've literally just paid an artist to do some illustrations for the badges which, do you know what? Just for you guys, I'm going to stick up right now. And then Chris's one will change, and you'll love it. And then when Chris rolls over to 2 months, you'll see the next one. And then 6 months. And then 12 months. Because these numbers totally make sense. 24. It has reverted my changes for 2 months. Ah, I see. Right. I understand now. In that case... I'm going to leave it like that for now. Now, in theory, it should update his image the next time he types a message. That one. Hello, Derek. Quick question. Currently running a 5600X, 32 gig, 3600 megahertz RAM, 3060 Vision. I'm looking to upgrade my monitor. I don't really play high FPS games. Would it be worth going 1440p or 1080 over 100 Hz? There you go. Nice new image. Personally, I prefer 1440p. The remarkable thing is that the number of 1440p monitors that are currently on sale that are what I would describe as disgustingly cheap are pretty fantastic. So you can still get the best of both worlds there. The 3060 technically might struggle to hit 1440p, 144, 165 Hz, but as you say, you don't play too many high FPS games, so in that case, even just having that then means that you wouldn't necessarily need to upgrade your monitor later if you did upgrade your system in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years time, whatever. Personally, 1440p is very nice. I have 2 of them here, and I do highly recommend it, so that would be my preference. How's the weather over in the UK? Currently sweltering, which is why I'm very much sweating. Green for transmit, receive, orange is for whenever it recognizes it's plugged in. The systems that I have here, the orange light is that way around. Could be a difference between something like Intel Realtek Killer. However, in his case, the orange light is on steady and the green light is blinking. Have tried using device and motherboard drivers from Realtek, so it's a Realtek chip. Got you. What are you connecting it to? And can you? Sorry. Does it show up in Windows? I didn't read that bit. I didn't read that answer. It doesn't show up in Device Manager. Does it show up in the Network and Sharing Center and click Change Adapter Options or Adapter Settings? The 3060 OC version, can the performance be tweaked? As far as I'm aware, yes. Pretty much all GPUs, you can still tweak them afterwards. Doesn't show up in Windows, connected to a regular modem, doesn't show up in Network and Sharing Sensor. Got you. So if are you able to connect to that modem, that router elsewhere, and see if it is still able to, if that modem, that router is able to address your PC, or is it not connecting at all? That is also potentially a good option. Check in the BIOS to see if PXE boot is either enabled or disabled, possible. You might be able to, what what you call it? You might be able to see if LAN is just actively disabled in the BIOS for some reason. I know you've tried resetting it, but just double check anyway. What I mean about the modem is, can you, if you were to say use your phone or a laptop or another PC that's connected to the same network, can you go to your router, your modem's web GUI and look and see if it has assigned an IP address to your PC, your AMD system, and if it has, try if it has, is that still active or is it non-active? Because then that will tell you if it is exclusively if it's sort of hardware faults or if it is more software. The obvious answer, the obvious if you want this fixed ASAP, the obvious answer is to buy a cheap gigabit Ethernet PCIe card. But yeah. And yes, potentially try a different Ethernet cable if you haven't already. So what you do do you have another Windows machine available, like a laptop that's connected to your router? The Acer Nitro, the VG271UP. That's nice. Cable is fine, tried it on another system. Got you. How do HDMI cables die without moving? When they are insanely cheap, they fatigue, they get hot, and they deteriorate. One I think quite funny thing was happening today. I tweeted about this. I got an email from a company. It's not a big company, not one you've probably heard of. I'm hesitant to name and shame just quite yet, but to give you a touch of context, it is a Kickstarter project. My understanding is that they are a funded company outside of Kickstarter, so it's not like I've had this great idea for a product and I'm going to fund the entire business and this product development through this Kickstarter. Not quite that bad. Interesting product. Won't go into too much detail, but I thought when they sent over the email, it looked interesting. I said, feel free to, send one over if you have samples available. Very weird interaction. I want to read you the first bits of the first email because it's hilarious. So, when most companies cold email me asking if I want to review their product, they normally give me a little blurb about them or their company, the product they want me to look at, and a link to the product, whatever. And that's kind of it. Maybe some pictures of the products or documentation, press releases, whatever else. And then say, let me know if you want to try one out. This company says there's a little blurb about how their device is a game changer, and it's fantastic and brilliant. And then what was it? So they say, after you start promoting our new brand, you'll be surprised when you next look at our branded sales figures, and I've included a picture of our product in this email showing how many influencers are interested in working with us. And the picture is just the product. There's nothing about influencers on it, so that's good. The next line is, I know you are concerned. How is the quality of the product? Is it perfect for my followers and our market? And then they give me a link to the product. They don't answer any of those questions that they've posed. And they say, all you need to do is reply to this email and tell me if you're interested in working with us, and I will send you more information. They themselves then say, you might say, quote, I don't care, end quote, and that might be your first reaction. Quote, who are you? I don't know you, and you don't know me, so why should I care? Thanks for the reminder. Best regards, brand manager. What? So I ignore that, and I say, this looks interesting, send over more information, do you have samples I can look at? They say, we will send you the product for free and you will need to shoot a video and promote it on YouTube as per our requirements. No. Please let us know if you're interested in working with us or if you have a different partnership in mind. I said I'd be happy to review it, but without any requirements. I'd prefer to use the there's two versions of the thing. If you'd rather I adhere to your requirements, that would be more of a sponsored video. I'd be looking for upfront payment for that. Very reasonable. They reply, by giving you the product, you need to make the video according to our requirements, which are very simple for us. We are very confident about our product and our business has very good prospects, so we don't pay to cooperate. Our aim is not to find promoters of our products, but partners. Wow. But ladies and gentlemen, it gets better. We invite you to join us, and we hope that we can complement each other's strengths and promote each other's relationship under the premise that we are optimistic about each other's development prospect, not just a trading relationship of selling and buying. Sales, promotion, cooperation, trading. Yes, no commas there. Sales, promotion, cooperation, trading is left to people who do ordinary products. We only do long-term mutual assistant investment cooperation, comma, common growth relationship. So I promptly ignore that. And I say, can you please explain what your requirements are? This is where it gets amazing. This is our requirements for video production. 1. There are 7, by the way. This was simple. 7. You need to appear in the video with our products. Yeah, fair enough. I would do that anyway. 2. The content of the video needs to include product unboxing, showing our product, introducing our brand and product features, and some of your feelings after using it. That sounds like I don't have editorial control, and so, no, is the answer. That would, just point number 2 is already a no. Point number 3 makes it way worse. Do not have any other brand products and watermarks during the video. Only our official website account and brand. I don't think they've seen my set. So that's a definite no. Point number 4, our brand name needs to be mentioned in the video title. Again, if it is a review, I have editorial control, and so you don't get to tell me what I do at all. So there's that. Point number 5 is put the discount code not only in my description, but the discount code of our products and the link to buy them in the video introduction. Like, before I have even reviewed anything, I need to tell you to go and buy it. No. I wouldn't even do that for a sponsored video. You need to finish making the video within 1 week after receiving our products. There are products that I've been sent that I haven't even opened the box for about 3 weeks. And that's nothing on the company or the product. I produce 3 tech videos, like tech reviews, tech comparisons, whatever, a week. Which means that at bare minimum, I am producing 3 videos a week. On top of that, I also do a car review, or car video a week, and these live streams, and I run locally. So there's I'm quite a busy person most of the time. So no is the answer. And then number 7 is the cherry on the cake. Give us the video for review before it is released. No. So my reply was quite simple. You aren't asking for a review, you're asking for a sponsored showcase. If you aren't interested in either a true independent review where I maintain editorial control, or you want to pay for a sponsored video, I'm afraid we can't work together. They replied a little bit earlier. We can shoot the video exactly the way you want it to be, and you can express what you want to express. We respect your ideas completely. But only if you want to showcase the brand and features of our products. I haven't replied yet. I've only just seen it. Yeah, you're right, Joe. I said yes, and the product will be here tomorrow. The video will be out tomorrow as well. In fact, the video is already out because time travel. So yes. No, I don't think I'll be looking at this product because the only way that I can see them sending me anything is to agree to their insane conditions, all while it not being a sponsored video. Anyway, hello new people. Hello Joe. How you doing, man? How's things? Hello, Azo. How you doing, man? Your GPU fell out of your socket. That's not great. So is your water cooling, is it an all-in-one, or did you build the water cooling loop yourself? It sounds like the product isn't very good. From what I have seen, it certainly is a unique product. There would be very many ways to get it wrong. However, they claim that the MSRP of said product is $395 or something like that. Yeah. But what's weird is that I got 2 separate emails from 2 separate people from the same company in the same day with the exact same message, but it was a different person who sent it. Which now kind of makes me want to email the other person back and just see if I can play them. Oh dear. The bots are trying to tag team you. Yeah. We don't want to interfere with your editorial process. Now let me tell you about this bridge I have for sale. Oh dear. That's another moderator just handled this. Thank you, other moderator. That must be a great idea, because there would be a lot of you'd make a lot of money for a very short period of time. I'd buy it just to spite them and troll them in the review. I did think of that, but the fact that it's $400 for a product that I certainly think is interesting, but I certainly wouldn't get $495 worth of ad revenue back. So yeah. Hello, we're from LG. Uh, uh, I did see that. I was very glad to see that the one of the VPs stepped in very quickly. That was nice to see. Um, but yeah, my comment on that is that that sort of thing isn't exactly uncommon. Obviously, you've heard about my experience with a certain Taiwanese manufacturer, but from all of the things, thank you very much, Charles. Is that towards the buy the keyboard fund? um, what you call it? From the experiences that you've heard, there are countless other ones that are just a bit less bad, but not worth airing that dirty laundry, as it were. Uh, so it's still quite common, and my hope and expectation is that by airing these more serious offenses, if you like, there is more chance that more companies will finally take note. Get another sponsor for the episode where you buy their product. That'd be a good idea. I have no idea who would sponsor that though. I have an issue when I watch YouTube or even Netflix. The voice goes in and out of sync on Edge and Firefox, and Chrome. Any ideas? I wonder. So I take it you're not using, external speakers or an overly complicated sound setup. Also, the fact that it's going out of sync slowly, is a clock rate issue. Have you base clock overclocked your CPU at all? I got stung by YouTube for 24% tax of my earnings because it kept asking me to submit my American tax form in for my earnings. I'm not American. I've only taken about £300 in 6 years. Were you able to submit the form that you submit is the form that tells them, because YouTube and Google are an American business, so they have an obligation as an American business to collect income tax or sales tax or whatever it is, and the it's the same for Amazon affiliates. You have to complete the W-8-BN, I think it is, or W-8BN, something like that. The form that says, I am not a US citizen, you have no right to hold any of my earnings, pay me. It's basically just a declaration form. You fill it in once and that's it. You should be able to fill that in and either get those earnings back or at very least stop them from withholding anything else. But they shouldn't have paid that. They might be holding it, but I don't think they should be taking it actively. If the Microsoft program says your PC is not supported and you have a Threadripper 3990X and 256GB RAM and a 3090 Ti, you need to buy a new PC. I assume you're mostly joking there, and therefore, like I said, that program is not the most accurate, I think is the answer. um, thanks, Tom. Nice one and on. I hear pulling out is useful. External speakers, no overclocks, just started happening in the last 2 weeks. Sync goes out within 2 to 5 minutes. Again, that's certainly strange. I'm honestly not sure. That would be something that I would be Googling myself if I was having that issue. So I'm afraid I don't have any immediate advice. But strange. Anyway, we're coming up on the 9 o'clock time. I very much have to thank you all for tuning in. As always, I'll be here next week, 8 PM UK time, if you want to pop back. I'm not happy with the state of developers regarding broken gaming apps and 0cc level of competence. I'm not really sure what you mean, so I'm going to have to call it a night, I'm afraid. But yeah, as usual, links in the description, all that jazz if you're buying from there. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.